The announcement of the largest logging project in 20 years in Alaska's Tongass National Forest raises questions of sustainability.
The National Forest Service says it's trying to make the transition into harvesting young growth trees, but that comes with challenges. KTVA 11's Kate McPherson is here with part 2 of the Tongass Timber series. Kate?
Well, James and Emily, sawmills in Alaska will have a tough time transitioning to young growth timber because of the established competition in the lower 48 and in Canada. Now, until the transition happens here, mills will rely on old growth trees, and the Big Thorn timber sale is something many are looking forward to.
Keith Landers, along with his wife Desiree, opened their small sawmill on Prince of Wales Island in the mid-90s. K&D Lumber is one of 8 small sawmills left in the Thorn Bay area. They make red cedar shingles and lumber.
And then we're allowed 4 1-inch knots on the backside of a clearboard.
Selling primarily to companies in Canada.
I've got enough timber right now to last me till the end of next season, and then we're out.
A couple of years after the pair moved from Oregon, the Ketchikan Pulp Company closed. It was a blow to the business.
We never got what we was hoping to get in timber when we set up, because KPC was shut down, and that's what was our lifeline. That's where we got our timber.
Keith supports the Forest Service's decision to approve the 6,000-acre Big Thorn timber sale, but he's not happy about the size. Keith says because the area of forest for sale is so big, smaller mills can't afford to buy it.
Instead of 100 million feet at one time to sell it in 5 million foot timber sales, then there's other mills that would be able to have access to that wood.
Viking Lumber Company on Prince of Wales Island is predicted to make the winning bid.
So there really wouldn't be any competition there. It basically set up for the big mill. They're the only ones left.
The Forest Service says more than 800 acres is set aside for small sales so people like Keith can buy in. The future of harvesting old-growth timber in Alaska is unclear. The US Forest Service is mandated to transition away from logging old-growth forest. Some trees are believed to be 700 years old.
If the Forest Service continues on this transition path, in 10 to 15 years, we would be largely out of old growth and harvesting more in the young growth.
Tongass Forest Supervisor Forrest Cole says there will be challenges.
It's like converting a halibut fisherman to a jellyfish fisherman, and you got the same equipment.
Young growth or second growth is where the original forest has already been logged and trees have grown back.
The mills today in southeast Alaska can cut young growth, smaller logs. What the difficulty is trying to find a market for the products that you can cut out of young growth material versus the old growth.
Keith Landers says he'll be out of business if he had to use second growth wood.
It won't pass code. And the longevity of a second growth shingle is about 1/10 as long as what an old growth would be. It wouldn't even be worth putting on your roof.
Small operators like the Landers hope that some old growth on a small scale will continue to be available into the future.
Well, I just want to see us have a sustainable way of living here. And since we are resource-based, whether it's fishing or timber, I'd like to see us have some type of guaranteed sustainability for our children also.
Because it's small business owners like the Landers who help hold communities together.
Now, the Forest Service says even though they plan to stop logging old growth over the next 15 years, there's still room for some old growth harvest to keep small sawmills in business. Tomorrow, we'll take a closer look at some of the threats to the environment from the Big Thorn timber sale.